let's have a debate about this new injury time thing, because obviously
I hate it.
It's being changed up. You could save that for a minute. It's being changed up at this moment in time, and officials are adding more injury time to prevent time wasting. For example, if a player goes down and they receive treatment, they cannot come back on the pitch for 30 seconds. That's to try and prevent people just kind of going down. The watch is being stopped when a goal is scored, so the correct amount of time is added on. And some championship matches in the first weekend had over 20 minutes of injury time added on to both halves, obviously. Supposed to be less in the Premier League, but more than last season. I feel like this is kind of the right move, but I've already heard from you that you don't like it. I'm not sure about Buvey's opinion on this, but some people, Raphael Varane came out in critique of it. Same with Pep Guardiola. Rory, why do you dislike it? Why do you hate it?
Well, I think the first thing to establish here, was there a massive problem? You know, sometimes, you know the old thing that my mum would always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. When you were watching football, did you generally feel shortchanged?
No.
Yes, at times.
By what margin? 2 minutes, 1 minute here and there?
I don't want to get like really just horribly like just getting picky with it. And like, you know, when a goalkeeper's got the ball at his feet and he's taking a while, I don't think people should be adding minutes on.
But what's the ball in play generally about?
About 60 minutes.
60 minutes.
55, 60 minutes. Something stupid like that. Not 60 minutes. In fact, there's a lot less than 60 minutes. But the issue that I have, being like just as a fan of football, watching football, more likely when you want a certain team to get a result and they're holding on, you've got, let's say it's the 90th minute or the 89th minute. Some fella you see stoppage time got 4 minutes added on. So we know now we're playing to 94th minute. But some fella's gone down in the 89th minute. He hasn't got up to the 92nd. You still only played to the 94th minute. So where have all those minutes gone?
Yeah.
There was a game against Atletico Madrid. I think the ball was in play for about 40 minutes because people are just time wasting and stuff. So I think kind of being against that and acting against it so that you get more football back and teams aren't getting, you know, kind of cheating their way to wins, I think is right. But when it's becoming really like, you know, oh, this guy's taking 5 seconds today, that kick, let's add that. I don't want to see us get that deep into it, but I do think it's necessary.
Well,
I do think I like it during the World Cup when the minutes were added on.
Yeah, but they've got this. This is classic. Whoever's running football again is running it into the ground, in my opinion. They've gone the other way.
Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to another video from the club. Remember, we are brought to you by Super 6, and Super 6 is back bigger than ever. And this weekend, in this round, you could win £1 million. Yes, you could. So go download that Super 6 app. Join our league. The mini league code is Club23. Make sure you're in there. And of course, make sure you're getting your predictions in. All you have to do, predict 6 games every single week. If you top the league, you could be winning that £1 million. Yes, £1 million. And if you top our mini league, last week, we gave £1,000 away to the winner of our mini league. It's so easy to do. It's free to play. Get stuck in. Download Super 6. Join our league, Club 23. And for now, enjoy this clip.
Instead of balancing up to what Adam said, which is bang on, in my opinion, they've gone so far the other way. It doesn't look good politically, and then kind of the PR side of it, when there's 115 minutes. There are championship games where 20 minutes were being added on. I refuse to believe that there are that many minutes being wasted in games. So I just don't get it. I mean, we could end up having footballers playing, 3 times a week, 110-minute games. I just don't. I don't get why we can't kick off 0 to 45, 45 to 90, and have a better way of understanding.
So do you think the ball should just constantly stop when it goes out?
Maybe something like that.
If that happens, then it has to be 40-minute games.
And then people will go, you can't, it's been 90 minutes all my life. You can't change it.
But why has it gone the other way? Why is the pendulum swung to 111-minute games in the Championship, 115 minutes here and there?
Because if you had 10 minutes to each half on, which realistically you could usually, I think there was 11 minutes added on in the Spurs game.
VAR checks are new as well.
Yeah, all these things, people wasting time. You have to do it, brother. I think it's right. And I think eventually, if players stop wasting time, it will eventually be brought down to around 5 minutes.
They're not going to stop wasting time. They're going to keep wasting time.
And you learn how to waste time differently.
There'll be 130-minute games in the Premier League.
So there'll be people wasting time with the ball in play. Like maybe 10 people surrounded it and just like holding you out. So that the ball's in play, you're not missing out on game time. But
that I think is the interesting debate here. When I asked, is anyone feeling shortchanged about the amount of football? I think there have been moments where I have, certainly moments where I have, but generally speaking, I don't think I do. Like overall, I don't, but individually, and if you explore certain moments, I do. But I feel like ultimately, if we take it all the other way, if we go to these 110-minute games, you're going to burn players out. Like, you know, I mentioned this on the show, but in regard to this, the amount of minutes that footballers now play is ridiculous. Like, you know, I said Jude Bellingham has played more minutes at 20 than Wayne Rooney, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Michael Owen combined. That is totally unsustainable, isn't it? Like, you can't. Jude Bellingham cannot play at the top for this amount of time.
Some people would argue, and playing devil's advocate here, that the pay is so much better. Again, I don't think that should be used in, to question.
But this is about his knees.
But
this isn't about
physicality.
Yeah.
But the training facilities are so much better. The science is so much better. All these things are benefits to the player now. So should they be able to play?
Okay. My other point to this then does, you know the gamesmanship, things that are slightly cheaty.
Yeah,
part of the game.
I know what you're on about.
Does it matter? Is it not
that
fair
part
play?
of the game?
Is
those valid tactics?
You know when people go, the ball's not in play? Yeah, the ball's not in play because I kicked it out. And that's part of the game.
Yeah, but I get it if it's wasting time in a game scenario where you're, I don't know, maybe holding on to the ball a little bit or slowing it down. But there are moments and this is where they've got to get the balance right. People are rolling about for a minute, 2 minutes, going down,
the game.
making a stupid. But it's not, is it? And especially when you don't get that time back. If you get that time back, then fair enough, it's the game.
How passionate are you? You know the Sergio Busquets Casemiro foul, the tactical clever foul as a team break. Barcelona's fine, so that shouldn't happen in football, should it?
No. It should happen, but players should still be booked for them. Just because it's a tactical foul, you should still be punished for it.
No, and you are, but the thing is, it's so cleverly done that one player does it they all rotate doing it, and it's part of the tactics, and it's cheating. How animated or upset are you when somebody in your team wins a penalty that perhaps they shouldn't have won?
Yeah, but that works both ways though, because it can happen to you.
But so does injury time. So does kicking the ball out.
But there are so many annoying things when the correct time is added. It's just, I don't know, it's just something that really bugs me. And I do think this is so easy to control here and get right that you should get it right.
Do you know what I don't care about? People get really vexed. People get really animated. I imagine that people are going to dislike what I'm about to say here. But I find it very difficult to be too animated about diving. People are like, it's the worst thing.
I don't really care too much.
I don't care if you dive. In fact, if you're my player, I'm going to be totally brutally honest. I want you to dive.
Obviously, the pantomime of it, we will call someone a cheating so-and-so when it happens.
But I want you to do it. And it would be very hypocritical of me to go, he's a cheat because he did it against my team, but he's not a cheat because he did it for my team.
But if they get found to be cheating, sometimes they're punished. And that's the thing. I'm not saying wasting time is a tactic that should be drilled out of the game.
The odd player will get
but you should still be punished for it.
Do you know, of all the things, if you were to ask me to write a list of the 10 things that I wish the game would be, 10 ways to improve football. If, whatever it is, old Infantino were to get in touch on Twitter, say, Raw,
he watches the club.
10 reasons, 10 things, 10 suggestions from you to improve football. This ain't on it. I can think off the top of my head.
Give us one of them.
Making football more affordable for working class people.
Forget that's a boring one. Give us one of yours.
How to make football
I want to know.
salary cap.
That's boring. I was hoping something else.
I'm not trying to be entertaining.
I was hoping you were being nasty to me. Mine was not boring.
I was hoping to get something wild.
That was boring.
Multi-ball system.
I'm not trying to entertain.
Something like that.
I'm not trying to entertain. I'm just saying the way that I think the game would be better. I'd look at the ownership. I'd look at all this pollution of money. There are so many things that I would like to be focused on in football that's wrong. I think fan culture should be encouraged. I think the sanitisation of football stadiums is appalling. I think the way that
I love Raphael Varane, and I think I agree with him to a certain extent, but also in the sake of argument, if a footballer's moaning about time being wasted being added on, don't waste time. And if it's the opposition that are wasting time, so that time's added on, then it's going to benefit you.
No, but you're allowed.
So why are you complaining?
No, but he's complaining because he doesn't want to be on a football pitch for 110 minutes making slide tackles.
That's the point. There's been more time added on that I think is justifiable. Footballers are now going to end up paying, 330 minutes across a week, potentially. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy.
Also, let's just
substitutions have been increased.
When you're at the stadium on a night game, you don't want to get out the ground at 10:15.
That's another factor that we have to talk about. Transport and all that, getting home and all that. It's absolutely disgusting.
You've got to get home.
Train tickets go back up. It's crazy.
But yeah, I don't know. I think there's a balance here that can be found where all parties are happy here, because I do think time wasting is an issue at times, especially when There's 3 minutes get added on.
Mate, they've made a mountain out of a molehill. They did it with VAR. They've done it with so much. They're ruining football. We don't need 150-minute games to justify someone, rolling around in a game once a game.
Go on, tell them how you really feel. Go on.
I'm just telling you, that's how it is.
Yeah.
You love it for some reason.
I don't love it. I just
to see boring old United get smashed every week for 150 minutes a game.
I just want 20 minutes.
If you were in control, it'd be 3-hour games watching Man United.
The thing is, I'm fully in favour of this additional time if we're losing. Can we do that? Like, if you want extra
we should have had it at Fergie time. I tell you now, Michael Owen and all that. Yeah,
you should have had it.
Yeah, it would have finished 6-3 if we had it.
We would have beat Craig Bellamy, would have scored a hat trick. Trust me, he was on for one as well. Unbelievable game.